Now, right below it, there's a BP-1 there.
Yes. The backstory on that one, I was visiting in my working career, traveling around the country, and I had made contact with a fellow in Wisconsin by the name of Woody Stroman, and a lot of people would recognize that name in this region because Woody does some saw work and has parts and makes some parts, etc. And he invited me to come and look at his pile of stuff. He bought a dealer out, and they had all the gaskets and small parts from the dealer. So I went in to visit him. It was a cold winter night, and the building was dark, and I was freezing to death. But in this pile of saws, I saw that characteristic shaped handle for the BP-1. So I dug through the stack, and between that and a couple of Wright reciprocating saws that I got to have some spare blades, spent all of my remaining cash, but I still had a credit card, so I managed to get home.
And you have a BP-1.
And I had a BP-1.
So the BP-1, that was a balanced piston design that was made to kind of reduce vibration.
Exactly.
But they had issue with them.
Well, the balanced piston, you know, it has two pistons. The firing piston is the top one, and they're opposed, horizontal or vertically opposed in this case. The top one fires. The bottom one is just there for counterbalance. So yes, it's extremely low vibration, but with that additional displacement as the pistons are moving, you get in effect a supercharging.
Okay.
And so the output from that 46 or 44 cc saw is way beyond what you'd anticipate from a 44 cc model. Acceleration is instantaneous. You touch the throttle and it's 10,000 RPM just like that. It has a strange movement because of the crankshaft rotation. You know, most modern saws with the flywheel 90 degrees to the direction of the chain travel, you hit the throttle and it moves this way. On the BP-1, when you blip the throttle, it moves sideways in your hand. So it's a different feel.
And what happened with those specifically that makes them so rare today?
The official line was it has a simple air vane governor, and they were concerned if the governor would fail, the engine would overspeed and blow up and somebody would get hurt. So that was sort of put out as the official line, and you know, I guess theoretically they were recalled and to be destroyed. I don't know how many actually ever made it back to be destroyed, but it couldn't have been very many because there's actually a lot of BP-1s around yet today. And most of them that I've encountered were used. I mean, they were really used. This one, when I got it, it was completely worn out. I was able to tear it down, and where it had been setting with moisture in it and corroded through, patch it up so that it would hold pressure again, put a new ring in it, and it starts and runs. And I take it to get-togethers whenever I go around. Sorry about that.
Does it use a McCulloch carburetor on it, or is there a special carburetor?
It is
like a regular.
It is a unique McCulloch design carburetor, and you know, get this: the same carburetor was used on the BP-1 44 cc's, and some of the welders at 103 cc's. So the carburetor was probably a little bigger than it needed to be for the BP-1, but again, it's an extremely high output for a small amount of displacement. And in the saw application, there's a little diffuser cone that goes on the inlet to the carburetor. And without those, they basically won't run. So obviously, it was bigger than it needed to be for that particular saw, but the McCulloch engineers came up with a way to make it work.
Interesting. I think there's a few other interesting pieces right beyond the BP-1.
Yeah, well, not everybody gets to have one of these, so when they became available, and I made arrangements, the Sox Dolmar KMS-4 has a Wankel rotary engine. Was built, I think, for about 1 year, 1975. This particular one was in Slovenia, and again, through the website, made contact, made a deal, The guy packed it up and took it to his local Slovenia post office, and 6 days later it arrived at my door.
Incredible. Incredible.
The Solo Twin, this is the smaller version of the Twin. There was a 110cc and a 100cc version. This is the 100cc version. And somebody like Brad Snelling could tell you how to look at the cylinder fins and recognize the difference. I don't know. But this one came in a trade from Australia. And it needed work when I got it. It needed a lot of work. For those that doubt JB Weld, 50% of the crankcase on this one is JB Weld because it had rotted through.
Did it have like the corrosion?
Yes.
Magnesium corrosion?
Yes. Yeah.
The white death?
Yeah. Well, it wasn't white in this case because there was a little bit of oil mixed in there, but it was pretty ugly. But again, was able to make it into a runner. And these three I typically take to a get-together if I'm going, just because not everybody's ever going to get a chance to see one or run one. So
I think for all these three, and I've played around over the years with saws, never a collecting type so much, but I've seen a number of things, but I think I've never seen any of these in person.
okay, well,
So.
there you go. If we use our time wisely today, we might even take them out and start them up so you can hear them run.
Well, I guess the interview's over.
One of the unique things, again, because of the internet, we can be in contact with people anywhere in the world. I was providing some old McCulloch parts for a guy in Germany, and while I was doing that, I happened to look at German eBay and see a rotor that goes in the KMS-4, and so part of our settlement on the parts that he got was I got a brand new in the package rotor for my KMS-4. Not that I intend on ever rebuilding it, but not everybody would
Still a nice piece.
have the parts to
Sure.
put together.